We're going to look at tools in your Samsung and Android phone. We're going to focus on vision enhancement as opposed to other accessibility settings or any other AI settings that are available. Chrome has a reader mode, I discovered, but also you change your text size in browsers, sometimes a little bit different from some of the universal settings in the actual phone itself. Text size is one thing that's very common that people like to change, but there's also what's called display mode in Samsung Android, which changes a group of settings together, which is kind of interesting. There's the font size and style. You can reduce what's called transparency. We'll take a look at high contrast fonts and how to get that, and some auto brightness tools as well. We'll look at the Magnification. I don't know if we'll have time for the Bixby identifier, but it's kind of an interesting tool you can enable to help you identify things that you point your camera at. I'm using an app called Reflector, and it's showing a window here that shows what is on my Android screen. So what you see in Zoom is what I am looking at on my desktop. And this is my home screen. It's got a bunch of functions on here and tools and everything like that. I'm actually just going to swipe over here to go to settings and tap on the gear for settings. In the settings, there is a function for display. If you scroll down, there's also functions for accessibility, okay, which help with a wider variety of tools as well. But we're going to look at the display. Most of these functions are actually in the display settings, which is really kind of nice. It's kind of give you some hints here: brightness, eye comfort shield, navigation bar. So those are some helpful tools. I'm going to put my dot up here so that you can see where I'm pointing my mouse a little bit easier. So I'm going to tap on display. In display, we have a couple of things here that are some options for us: a light and a dark. Some people prefer dark text on a light background. Some people prefer light text on a dark background. It basically will show you what the screen looks like when you do that, and just makes it a little bit easier sometimes for people to read, particularly at night. You can change these dark mode settings so that it'll change it and it's designed to be turned on between sunset and sunrise when it gets darker. But if you're working inside a very light day, and you have light inside, it's not anything you need to worry about from a timing standpoint. You can change the brightness of your screen. It has a little indicator here to say maybe that's too bright, but most people find leaving the adaptive brightness button on really works very effectively for them. It makes it easy for them, and it makes it possible for the screen to adjust if you're in bright light or if you're in dark environments. It makes it more comfortable to look at for you. One thing here is called motion smoothness. Your screen refreshes. Adaptive is a little bit smoother. Standard, when you scroll up on your screen, things kind of, move it a little bit. Standard gives you longer battery life, but adaptive tends to actually be a little more comfort to look at, but you can adjust that if you choose that. There's a setting for what's called eye comfort shield, and I don't know if it'll actually change on the display here. It doesn't actually change on the actual Zoom display, but what that does is it makes the white a little bit dimmer, so it's a little more comfortable to look at. But you can also adjust your screen mode. Natural is more effective, and you can see what different things look like in graphics. Vivid will increase the intensity, just like on your TV screen. You can typically change it from vivid to natural as well. Let's go to font size and style. Font size and style is in one place. So you don't have to go to a different place for the style. You don't have to go to a different place for bold. You don't have to go to a different place for font size. You can see there's a little a and a big A, and most devices use all of these things the same way. So if we look at the little a, if I take this little button here on the bottom and tap or slide it over, you can see the text here is going to look smaller. As I do that, and as I tap and go to the right, it's going to make it bigger until I have it a size I might want or choose. The font style gives you the ability to select a couple of different styles from Samsung, and you can download different fonts if you want to, if you don't find these. But generally, the default or the Samsung one are okay. But some people prefer a serif font as opposed to a sans serif. A serif font that'll sometimes make it easier to read. And you can choose just to make any font bold just with one button by tapping the bold font. It makes it much richer and much easier to use. So that's font style and size. In the display settings, there is a screen zoom function that exists so that you can choose to make everything on your screen larger just by using the screen zoom function, and it gives you an example of how messages might look in terms of what you're looking at, and gives you the ability to change your screen zoom and decide, gee, I want the whole screen larger, everything. So that's another option that's available for you. Those are some tools that are possible. There is something called easy mode that makes the text and on-screen items larger. It also kind of brings in a group of settings automatically that increases the delay for touch and hold so that if you accidentally tap your screen, it also gives you a little higher contrast keyboard. And what's nice, one of the things that my Samsung Android tester that compared the iPhone to the Samsung liked is that these little animations that give you the ability to kind of preview what these things are going to look like. You can see there's fewer buttons, distractions, changes your touch and hold delay automatically so that you get a little preview of what this is going to look like. And if you're looking for something else, you can change those specific things. It'll take you directly to font size and style. Samsung and Android make it really easy to navigate around a lot of these things. They actually even have an accidental touch protection. So if you put your phone in a device or a pocket or something, you won't accidentally activate it in any way. But I'm going to go back to settings, and we're going to go down to accessibility. Accessibility gives you more options, and we're not going to take a look at all of them. The vision enhancements are what are nice, but they also have hearing enhancements, dexterity and interaction enhancements, and some advanced settings. But vision enhancements is really the one-stop shop for you to look at things. And you can adjust things even beyond what the display does. Now, this display mode is kind of a group of settings. The default here is what is generally used for everything. It'll set it to default, but I can go to a high contrast, and you can see the difference. It just has made the text a little higher contrast for me automatically. Or I can go to Enlarged Display and apply it, and it's going to make the entire display larger with a group of settings automatically. It's added highlight buttons here automatically. It's changed a few other things automatically as well. So just in vision enhancements, there are some quick and easy settings. So you can look at the difference between the default or the enlarged display, which does a lot of things for you at once and maybe all you need to do. So it might be easier to do it with that. You just have to remember to hit the apply button to make them apply. Now, you have the ability to make it high contrast, apply high contrast fonts, make your keyboard a little bit higher contrast, highlight buttons. Relumino is kind of an interesting feature. What it does, some people have true vision difficulty. So if you have an image or a video, and sometimes it's difficult for people to make out the borders between colors and features here. And so you're able to actually adjust the outline feature for that if you want to, and change it to different types of capabilities so that if you want the Relumo on, you can see it shows on my screen. It changes the contrast of everything quite a bit, and sometimes can make it more difficult to read, but depending on your vision, it might make it. You have the ability to do color correction, so you can add a shortcut to your screen. People have different types of color issues that they deal with, so it makes it really easy for you to change that. And you have the ability to modify filters, and you can apply a color filter over the entire screen if you choose to. If we wanted to do that, it goes through some steps to show you how to do that. And so there are some tools for using and being able to do with that, work with that. I do sometimes recommend people reduce animations, because animations, when the screen moves around or you switch from one app to another, people that are sensitive to screen movement, and sometimes on movies and TV shows, they'll say there's going to be flashing lights or there'll be rapid movement. Those things annoy you. Reducing animations will help you. Reducing transparency will help make it easier and create more contrast. But there's also things like magnification down here that give you the ability to set up a magnification shortcut or change the magnification type, whether you're moving between a sharp, full screen or a partial screen. So you can actually drag a section over your screen and be able to actually magnify that and use it as a shortcut. So it says how to start this. Tap the accessibility button. When you start using some of the accessibility functions, you'll get a little accessibility button down in the lower right-hand side of your screen. You can see it down here on mine. There's a little accessibility feature. And so you can tap that and start specific functions that you've enabled for your accessibility to make it possible to use. So those are some things just in the standard settings. I really like the vision enhancements with these default high contrast and large. They're so quick, they change a group of settings all at once and might be all you need to do to make your Samsung or Android phone easier to use. And unfortunately, I don't have a straight Android, so I can't say what is a little bit different between Samsung and Android, but most of these accessibilities tend to be fairly standard with Android settings. I'm going to go to my home screen here for a minute, and I want to just show you something that I discovered in Google Chrome. When you look at Chrome, if I go to the three dots, go to settings, and then go to accessibility and turn on simplified view for web pages, you'll be notified when an article can be showed in simplified view. I opened up my bobology.com website. Not every page, but on some pages, like this is my latest newsletter, if I tap and open up that link, you will see an icon appear up at the top here. Okay, so this is an ad, and I'm going to get rid of the ad. But this little icon here is for reading mode on Chrome. So if I tap that, it automatically has put my web page into reading mode for me, which means it's eliminated distracting items and ads, and I have abilities to modify it. Now, if I tap on reading mode again, let's see if I can get that back here. I can go to reading mode. There's usually options that you can go to and adjust the size of the text, but you also have these in the ability to change the appearance by tapping the three dots. So when you tap appearance and three dots and you're looking in reading mode, you get a little bit different function than you get with three dots normally. So if I'm in reading mode and I tap these three dots, I get a little pop-up screen that shows light, dark, sepia, this for font selection, and a slider for text. And this is all in Chrome. So if I go to dark, it changes it to dark mode. If I go to sepia, it changes it to sepia. I can change the font to a serif font, and you can see the font has applied serif font, and I can adjust the size of the font as well when I'm in reading mode. So I have the ability to do that just in reading mode, and if I want to get out of reading mode, I can just go back to the website and open up my browser again. So those are some features that are available. This shows my tab here, and I can eliminate that because it has a little window for me. So those are some tools. I've got a app called Bixby Vision, and I don't know how well it's going to work or not, but Bixby Vision is part of Samsung's AI tool feature. Bixby Vision gives me the ability. I was in a restaurant and I pointed my Samsung to the group of tables, and it was able to describe the scene for me. So it has some features here. It has Discover, it has Scene Describer, it has Object Identifier. So I'm going to try pointing this at my mug here. Let's see if I can do this right without changing anything. Let's go to Object Identifier, point it at a mug, and see if it will do it for me.
Cup, cup, cup.
Cup. It just identifies it as a cup. So I found the Apple one a little more friendly to use for object identification. In order to use the Bixby object identifier, you have to go to your settings and you have to go to Bixby and go to Set Bixby Settings. And then you can modify the Bixby settings to include various types of capabilities you may want to use in Bixby. Bixby is available with settings that you might want to access on your device at certain points, but it's not automatically enabled. You have to actually enable Bixby in order to use it when you go to, say, advanced or other capabilities. I think it's under advanced where you're able to activate Bixby. And if you go to Bixby, it gives you the ability to activate certain Bixby features. So that is one thing that is only on Samsung. I know it's not on Android, but Google does have features in standard Android as part of Google Lens as well that makes it really easy to use. So I recommend you try a few of those out. I found that one of the things that really frustrates people with smartphones is they're small and they're difficult to read. So having a way to make it a little bit easier to read is oftentimes really helpful. And if you've tried to discover a few more, let me know in any comments that you want to make, and we'll take a look at doing different things that help us with accessibility in the future.